Hey you guys, this is Monique and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by this video, and while you're here, click that subscribe button, thumbs up this video so I know you're rocking with me, and click that notification bell so you are notified each time I upload a video. Let's talk mental health. I've been wanting to share my story for quite some time. I would consider myself as being transparent about my journey. I was diagnosed with anxiety disorder and depression back in July of 2018, and I've been maintaining. In 2016, I had my very first child. With having her, breastfeeding, the lactation nurses, it was like do or die. It's like it was no other way to supply milk to my child. And I'm not knocking anyone that breastfeeds. I think it's an awesome thing, but some people aren't able to produce as much as other moms. So I was one of those people that could not produce a lot of milk. So they were really hard on me about breastfeeding. So once I got home, she's latching on to the breast. I'm thinking that I'm doing a great job. I'm getting advice from other breastfeeding moms about upping my supply because I was unable to pump, so she would have to latch on. I noticed that she was very cranky. When she went on her first doctor's appointment, they informed me that she had lost a great amount of weight. So that put me in a bad headspace, thinking that I can't provide milk for my child. Starving my baby. That opened a door of postpartum depression. I had been engaged since 2014, and we got married July of 2016. So I had 2014, 2015, and so I wanted to keep my wedding date. Regardless of me being pregnant and having a baby, I wanted to keep my wedding date. So I had my oldest child April of 2016, and then I got married July of 2016. So it wasn't so bad because I had pretty much planned everything and I was just doing finishing touches. Yeah, different things came up, with leading up to the days, but we worked through it. So it was just having a new child, getting married, and then exactly 1 week after my wedding, my grandmother passed away. My grandmother is the one who reared me from a child. She had just turned 90 years old 2 days before my wedding, and then she died exactly 1 week after my wedding. She was in good health. She didn't have any type of major illness or anything besides the typical diabetes. That it was just high moments and very low moments. So let me go back and do this timeline. So it was April of 2016, I had my first child. July of 2016, I got married. 1 week after the wedding, my grandmother passed away. And the evening of my grandmother's funeral, I started to have like hives behind my thighs, in the crease of my hands, my fingers. In the crease of my fingers, I had like this itching right here. I had itching around my neck. I had itching. So I'm thinking like, okay, is it the hair? Because I had a sew-in for my wedding. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to wash my hair because I know I have reactions to whatever they process hair in, that the alkaline coating on hair, it causes me to have a reaction sometimes. So I washed my hair and I was still having these issues. So the evening of my grandmother's funeral, I just started having like a small hive, and then I got very dry between my hands. They were itchy. My joints were hurting, like my ankles, my wrists, it's just like my whole body was just in pain. So it got worse. I mean, I was hiving up all over my body. And I'll do a separate video with dealing with chronic hives. I dealt with chronic hives from July of 2016 until about June or July of 2017. It was a long year of chronic hives. I mean, it was bad. Face swelling, lip swelling, hives all over my body, joint pain. It was just terrible. It was completely terrible. So with being a first-time mom, struggling with breastfeeding, getting married, losing a very dear family member, dealing with chronic hives for the entire year, in constant pain, constant ER visits, In the course of 2016 up until now, I've been to 5 different doctors. I've had several blood tests done, several allergy tests done. I had got my thyroids checked. It was just so much, and it was nothing coming back. And up until this day, I have been told by a physician that I have an autoimmune disorder, but I still don't have an exact answer as to what it is. I noticed in June and July of 2017 that my chronic hives had stopped. I noticed that it had stopped, but I didn't want to mention anything. I didn't want to jinx it. I'm like, okay, in my head, I'm like, okay, I know it stopped. I'm not going to mention anything about it. I'm just going to keep living. And so I went on a cruise July of 2017, and I noticed that I hadn't had any hives. On the cruise, I was feeling sick, me and my husband, but it was like effects from the tropical storm. I mean, it was just like motion sickness, seasickness. After the trip, I was just feeling bad, and then it was like one weekend, I felt terrible, okay? It started on like a Saturday, and I was just feeling sick. I was just trying to push through. I just felt terrible. So I'm like, I must have some type of food poisoning or something like that. I felt bad. I went to the ER on Mondays. The nurse was asking questions about, am I pregnant? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, I'm on birth control. I don't think I was on birth control. I was like, no, I'm not pregnant. Can't be pregnant. She was like, well, with your primary physician, he wants you to come in. So I made an appointment with him. So he was like, I can't understand what's going on with you. He was like, I think you may have a gallbladder problem, but we need to run a few tests before we send you over to get x-rayed. So they ran a test, and then the doctor came back in, and he was like, cancel that out, sweetheart. You are pregnant. And I'm like, what a nurse said that I could find. How y'all came up with these answers? Like, let me know, because y'all, I don't believe it. So lo and behold, I was pregnant, and at that moment I was 2 months pregnant. When my hives stopped, I was with child. After my youngest turned 1, my hives came back. So from 2019 up until the top of this year, I was having chronic hives, swelling, joint, hand swelling, hives on my hands, joint pain. And I've also been tested for lupus, and it came back negative, because with the joint pain and me flaring up, they were associating it with lupus. With everything this year, I haven't had a flare-up since COVID hit the scene, which I'm very grateful with not having to go through that right now, because I just don't think I can handle that. Mentally, I can't. I've been through so much since 2016 up until now. This has been alone for years. So I was so frustrated. Why do I have to go through this? Why me? And I'm not going to even lie to you. I had thoughts of rather not even being alive, because I felt like I would be better off. To be that uncomfortable, that miserable, I would rather be dead. So, and this is all about being transparent. You have to be transparent, with trying to go through this process, because with anxiety and depression, this is some raw, uncut stuff. And I'm getting emotional. But this is something that needs to be said. I'm trying to pull myself together, because I thought I was going to do good with this, but good Lord. I went through a lot of postpartum depression. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know how to address it. I wouldn't say I was in denial. I just knew something wasn't right. I knew that I had a very low mood, but I thought through heavy prayer and meditation that I could make it through. I try to maintain that way. In 2018, when my youngest daughter came into the world, it was rough. I mean, it was rough for me mentally. It was very low mood, panic attacks, and I knew that something was wrong. Confiding someone that you trust. With me, I went to one of my very best friends, and you know who you are when you see this video with me telling this story. You will know who you are. I'm not going to call any names, but I went to one of my good friends and I was telling her how I was feeling. So when you're confiding in someone, make sure that it's someone that you trust, and it needs to be someone that can handle raw, uncut truth, because with expressing things that are going on, a person that can't handle that type of stuff, they may go insane, because I'm telling you, when dealing with a mental illness, you have very unhealthy, unwanted thoughts. After confiding in someone, understand that you may need some help, because I know when I was sharing the things that I was going through, like I said, one of my very best friends, she told me, Mo, you need to get some help. And she referred me to the place that I go to, and I'm still going to this very day. And I really appreciate her for that. And sometimes you need those honest people in your life that, you know, will not steer you wrong. You need those people in your life. Make that appointment to see a therapist, because I know for me, I first saw a therapist and then I seen a psychiatrist. Consider taking medication, because sometimes you need that, especially with having panic attacks, having anxiety attacks. That stuff is serious. Sometimes you need something to mellow you out. Now, for me, I didn't stay on meds for very long. I just tried to like wean myself off. And then they had to stabilize me on my meds. So don't completely write taking medication off, because sometimes you need that to rest your nerves. And also understand that you can love Jesus and your therapist too. I come from a very religious background, and sometimes, you know, people only think that you can get the help you need through prayer, and that's not always the case. You can love Jesus, you can be in the Word, but you can also go to therapy as well. So don't completely rule going to a therapist out, okay? I mean, even preachers, I'm sure some of them get therapy too, because I know a few of them that do. I'm not the same person that I was 4 and 5 years ago. I'm much different now, and I'm learning day by day, month by month, year by year, that I have to adapt to this new norm. So sometimes it's difficult for me, and I'm not doing this video to say that I got it all together. I do not have it together. I do not have it all together. But I'm hoping with sharing this video, this will open a door for you to get the help that you need, and we can do this together, because I'm constantly learning about myself and ways to tackle this thing. Everybody is not considerate to your feelings when it comes to mental illness, so be delicate with your mental. Self-care is the best care. I'm also learning that as well. I hope that this video was informative for you. I hope that this video will lead you to get the help that you need. I hope that this video lets you know that you are not alone. And with this COVID season, the loss that we've taken, the sickness that people have been through, it's rough. It's dealing with school, childcare. It's been difficult. So hang in there. See a therapist. And if you are looking to reach out to someone and you don't know how, or if you are looking for a therapist and a support group, I have that information for you. It'll be down below in the description box. But you can always reach out to me through email if you don't want to leave a comment. I'll leave my email down below in the description box. You can contact me via social media. Bye.